If you're waking up more than twice a night to urinate, something you're doing every single day is making it worse. Not aging, not genetics, but daily habits that silently damage your prostate over years. I'm Dr. Max, urologist for 15 years, and today I'm breaking down 8 habits most men do without thinking. We're starting with the least damaging and building to the one that destroys more prostates than anything else. That final habit is responsible for 93% higher risk of chronic prostate problems, and most men have no idea they're doing it right now. I want to give you something that can make a real difference starting today. I have created a complete guide for you, 5 simple steps to boost your sexual health. This is not theory. These are practical, science-backed actions you can implement immediately. Inside this guide, you will discover the exact protocols I use with my patients, how to optimize your testosterone naturally, what actually reduces stress and restores function, the specific foods and exercises that support hormonal balance and blood flow. Everything is clear, specific, and proven. Go to the link in the description right now and get your free checklist. Take action today. Your confidence and health are worth it. Here's what I see every week in my practice. 2 types of men walk through my door. First group comes in desperate with complete urinary blockage where surgery is their only option. Second group took action early with simple daily adjustments. These men maintain healthy prostate function into their 70s and 80s. The difference isn't genetics. It's daily choices. A National Institute of Health study followed 12,000 men over 20 years. Men who avoided these specific habits had 73% lower risk of prostate enlargement. Your prostate sits below your bladder surrounding your urethra. When it enlarges, it squeezes that tube. Every habit uncovering either increases inflammation, restricts blood flow, or creates direct pressure on the gland. Let's break down these 8 habits, starting with number 8. Most men never connect their clothing choices to prostate health. Wearing tight belts, restrictive pants, or compression underwear every single day creates chronic pelvic pressure. Your prostate needs consistent blood flow to stay healthy. When you compress the lower abdomen for hours, you restrict that circulation. A Stanford biomechanics study measured pelvic blood flow in men wearing different clothing styles. Tight-fitting garments reduced prostatic blood flow by 32% compared to loose-fitting alternatives. The compression also pushes abdominal contents downward, creating mechanical pressure directly on your prostate. The solution is straightforward. Choose properly fitted pants that don't dig into your waist when you sit down. Your belt should rest comfortably without creating a visible indentation. At home, switch to looser clothing whenever possible. Multiply that restricted blood flow across 10 hours daily for 10 years, and the cumulative effect becomes substantial. Moving to habit number 7. Many men make critical mistakes with evening hydration. They either drink heavily right before bed or avoid all fluids after dinner. Both approaches damage your prostate. When you drink large amounts before sleep, you wake up multiple times during the night. Chronic sleep deprivation elevates cortisol levels, and elevated cortisol increases prostatic inflammation. The opposite extreme is equally problematic. Severe fluid restriction makes your urine highly concentrated and acidic, irritating your bladder lining and prostate tissue. Research from the European Urology Association studied hydration patterns in 8,000 men with lower urinary tract symptoms. The men who maintained moderate hydration throughout the day with gradual evening tapering had 46% fewer nighttime awakenings. The protocol is simple. Drink the majority of your fluids before 6 p.m. Avoid caffeine and alcohol after 3 p.m. because these are bladder stimulants that increase urgency regardless of actual volume. Now habit number 6, something in almost every man's daily diet. Whole milk, cheese, cream, and butter are dietary staples, but excessive dairy consumption is strongly linked to prostate inflammation and enlargement. The mechanism involves both saturated fat content and hormonal compounds. Dairy products contain high levels of saturated fat that trigger inflammatory pathways throughout your body. Your prostate tissue is particularly sensitive to this inflammation. A Harvard Medical School study analyzed dietary patterns in 47,000 men over 18 years. Those consuming more than 2 servings of dairy daily had 34% higher risk of developing benign prostatic hyperplasia compared to men consuming less than 1 serving daily. I'm not saying eliminate dairy completely. Limit consumption to 1 serving daily and choose lower fat options when possible. Skim milk instead of whole. Consider plant-based alternatives like unsweetened almond milk or oat milk for some meals. Habit number 5. Sugar-free drinks, diet sodas, and protein powders with artificial sweeteners have become standard choices for health-conscious men. But compounds like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin irritate your bladder and prostate in ways most men never realize. These chemicals don't provide calories, but they trigger neurological responses in bladder tissue. Research shows artificial sweeteners overstimulate bladder muscle contractions, creating urgency and frequency that mimics prostate enlargement symptoms. A study published in the Journal of Urology examined gut microbiome changes in men consuming high levels of artificial sweeteners. The researchers found significant disruptions in beneficial bacteria, and poor gut health increases systemic inflammation that affects every organ, including your prostate. Many men consume these sweeteners multiple times daily. Morning coffee packet, diet soda at lunch, sugar-free dessert at dinner. The cumulative bladder irritation adds up. The solution is reducing or eliminating artificial sweeteners. Use small amounts of honey or pure stevia if you need sweetness, or better yet, train your palate to enjoy less sweet foods overall. Habit number 4 is almost universal in men over 50. You're in a hurry. You finish urinating quickly, zip up, and move on with your day. But you didn't fully empty your bladder. Here's the problem with that pattern. Residual urine creates the perfect environment for bacterial growth. Stagnant urine sitting in your bladder for hours increases infection risk, and urinary tract infections irritate your prostate. Repeated infections cause chronic inflammation and enlargement. The incomplete emptying also weakens your bladder muscle over time. When your bladder never fully empties, it stays partially distended, and that constant stretching reduces muscle strength. A weak bladder can't generate enough pressure to push urine past an enlarged prostate, creating a vicious cycle. In healthy men, post-void residual volume should be less than 50 milliliters. Many men with early enlargement have 150 to 200 milliliters remaining after urination. The solution requires patience and a simple habit change. Take your time when urinating. Relax your pelvic floor without straining or forcing. Wait 30 seconds after your stream stops, and try again. This technique is called double voiding, and that second attempt often releases an additional 50 to 100 milliliters. Most men notice improvement in urgency and frequency within 10 to 14 days. Now we're at habit number 3, something men rarely connect to prostate health. Your intestines and prostate share the same confined pelvic space. When your bowel backs up with constipation or distends with trapped gas, that bulk pushes directly against your bladder and prostate. Your prostate sits between your bladder and rectum. When your rectum fills with stool or your intestines distend with gas, that pressure compresses your prostate from behind, restricting blood flow to the tissue. A gastroenterology study examined bowel habits and urinary symptoms in 5,000 men over age 55. Men with chronic constipation had 68% higher rates of urinary urgency and frequency compared to men with regular bowel movements. Many men hold in gas throughout the day due to social embarrassment, but those gas pockets create internal pressure that your prostate bears. The solution involves 2 components. First, increase dietary fiber to 25 to 30 grams daily through vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and beans. Second, never ignore the urge to pass gas or have a bowel movement. Your body is signaling for release, and delaying creates harmful pressure buildup in your pelvis. We're now at habit number 2, the second most damaging pattern for your prostate. Large meals before bed create immediate digestive stress, where your stomach and intestines push against your bladder during the hours you should be resting. That pressure irritates your prostate throughout the night. But there's more happening beneath the surface. Heavy evening meals, especially those high in fat and processed foods, spike inflammation markers throughout your entire body within hours. A nutrition study from Johns Hopkins tracked inflammatory markers in men eating different meal timing patterns. The men who consumed their largest meals within 3 hours of bedtime showed 41% higher levels of C-reactive protein compared to men who ate earlier. C-reactive protein is a key inflammation marker, and elevated levels throughout your body mean elevated inflammation in your prostate tissue. Late-night eating also disrupts your natural hormone rhythms. Your body should be producing melatonin and entering recovery mode during sleep, but digesting a large meal keeps cortisol elevated throughout the night. The solution requires changing your eating schedule. Consume your main meal at least 3 hours before bedtime. If you need an evening snack, choose something light like a small serving of nuts or berries. Men who make this change typically notice fewer nighttime bathroom trips within 1 week. And now we've reached habit number 1, the habit that causes more prostate problems than any other. Holding in stress, anger, worry, and emotional tension creates devastating effects on your prostate that most men never connect. Many men were taught that expressing emotion shows weakness, so they bottle everything inside and push through. This pattern destroys prostate health from multiple angles simultaneously. Chronic psychological stress elevates cortisol continuously. In short bursts, cortisol is protective, but chronically elevated. It triggers inflammatory cascades throughout your body, and your prostate becomes inflamed and swollen. But there's another mechanism at work. Chronic stress causes pelvic floor muscle tension. Those muscles surround your prostate like a sling. When they're constantly tight from stress, they compress the gland, decreasing blood flow while increasing pain and urinary symptoms. A landmark study from the University of California followed 6,000 men for 8 years with regular psychological and physical assessments. The men in the highest stress quartile had 93% higher risk of developing chronic prostatitis compared to men in the lowest stress quartile. 93%. The connection between emotional health and prostate health is undeniable because stress doesn't just affect your mind. It creates real, measurable physical changes in your pelvic organs. The solution involves daily stress management practices. You don't need complicated interventions. Simple daily habits work remarkably well when done consistently. 10 minutes of deep breathing exercises, a 20-minute walk outdoors, or talking with a trusted friend about what's bothering you instead of keeping everything locked inside. The key is consistency. When you lower your baseline stress level, cortisol decreases, inflammation decreases, and pelvic floor muscles relax naturally. Men who address stress levels often see dramatic improvement in urinary symptoms within 4 to 6 weeks. Now you understand the 8 habits damaging your prostate through small daily choices that create cumulative harm over years. Every single one is within your control starting right now. Here's your action protocol. Start with one habit this week instead of trying to change everything simultaneously. Pick the habit that resonates most with your situation. Master it over 2 to 3 weeks, then add the next habit. The men who see best results in my practice make sustainable changes that become permanent lifestyle adjustments. If you're experiencing moderate to severe symptoms, schedule an appointment with a urologist for proper evaluation. Rule out serious conditions first, then implement these habit changes as part of your comprehensive management plan. Subscribe to this channel for evidence-based men's health from a practicing urologist. Share this with another man who needs this message. Next, watch my video on 5 supplements with actual research backing for prostate health. Remember, your prostate health is in your hands. Small actions today prevent major problems tomorrow.